If you are a fan of Demon Slayer, then you know that there are a surplus of great characters to enjoy. From main boy Tanjiro, to kawaii demon friend, to the many different personalities amongst the hashira, to the misunderstood Kiyo guy, to even Muzan, who a valid case could be made for liking him. Or her. Them. Likewise, there are a few that you can respectfully dislike. From most of the demons, to most of the demons, to most of the demons, to most of the demons. Rui is not one of those characters. Rui, also known as Lower Moon 5, was the primary antagonist of the Mount Natagumo arc. As a demon, Rui has lived for much longer time than his 13-year-old body would lead you to believe. He utilizes a string-like blood demon art that allows him to manipulate strings from his body like a spider. The string is powerful enough to slice through humans like a stick of butter versus a 1,000,000 degree knife. Rui comes off as a calm and collected individual who is able to hold a proper conversation with anybody, demon or demon slayer. However, his lax nature is usually just a facade to cover up his anger and frustration that he feels towards those around him. Despite that, Rui is still able to remain civil in his way of speaking, even during battle, as seen against his fight with Tanjiro. There are a few things Rui is extremely sensitive to, one giant one that we'll get back to soon enough. So on the surface, Rui seems like a respectable individual, especially for a demon. But we soon learn that isn't true after his assault on his own makeshift family and the exalted one of the basket. Overall, Rui seems like a decent competitor for most characters in the show, but I have come to the conclusion that there are 3 characters who Rui is incapable of beating in a deathmatch regardless of how many times he tries. Sumi, Nakahara, Naho, Takada, Kiyo, Terauchi, Uki, Chuchi, X Biscuits. Stop. Listen, I probably just butchered all of those names, but these 3 young butterfly girls are around the same age as Rui's physical body, if not younger, and I refer to them as butterfly girls because of their occupation as assistants to the insect hashira, Shinobu Kocho, at the Butterfly Mansion. Unlike their co-workers, Aoi and Kanao, Kiyo, Naho, and Sumi are not members of the Demon Slayer Corps. They were taken in by the Butterfly Mansion after all 3 of their respective families were killed by demons, and they've been serving there ever since. Also, side note, this isn't even on my script, but I just wanted to say it. These jits all look the same, bro. They look like triplets. They ain't even related. Alright, back to the script. Does it make sense to put one of the top-ranking demons in the show against 3 girls who aren't even registered fighters? At a passing glance, no, it doesn't. But when you start to look at the feats of each competing party, you start to realize that this fight is indeed a spite match, but not for the side that you may be thinking. I want to delve into 3 main reasons why a fight between these 3 little girls and Lower Moon 5, Rui, would result in Rui being absolutely curb-stomped. Before we dive any further into this, make sure to subscribe and comment your favorite Demon Slayer character. For me, it's gotta be the Love Hashira. You feel me? Come on now.
Falling for you better. What do I do better? If only I knew better. You were feeling it too better.
But you know what? You also don't have to do that. I really don't care at all. Alright, hit that intro, my boy. So let's get right into this by bringing up Rui's biggest weakness, bonds. Rui's most prominent trigger is the mention of bonds, or the challenging of his own family's validity. Aside from Tanjiro and Nezuko, not many characters have as close of a bond as the Butterfly Trio here do. Rui would see their tight-knit family bond as a challenge to his own family's bond. As we've seen with Nezuko, the potential to build a new bond is more than enough to make Rui act impulsively and take the fight seriously. Similarly, if one of the butterfly girls is in danger, then that's enough for the rest to also take the fight seriously. There. Now that we can agree that both sides are fighting seriously and fighting for real, let's cover 2 to 3 more reasons why Rui still gets absolutely obliterated. So hear me out. The butterfly girls are just simply physically superior to Rui. I'm glad for Tanjiro's existence because now we can use him as a reference point to explain the strength of all of our competitors. Let's start with Rui. It took Rui many hits on Tanjiro before he could even take him down. Even in taking Tanjiro down, the dude got back up like 10 minutes later. While I'll give it to Rui in saying that he was beating the brakes off of Tanjiro, he was still unable to incapacitate him in the end. Why does that mean anything? Well, let's look at the girls now. Naho, Sumi, and Kiyo were all able to beat Tanjiro so badly that he woke up from his sleep multiple times. Now you can make the case that he was sleeping so his guard was lowered, but then let's look at a similar situation in which Nezuko tried to wake up a sleeping Tanjiro, and she couldn't. That just shows the difference between them in power. Kanao during the Mount Natagumo arc, which is Rui's arc for those of y'all who still don't know, was able to knock out Tanjiro with one kick. The Butterfly Trio has been a part of training sessions with Kanao, Aoi, and Shinobu, so their power can roughly be scaled to that of some of the most physically dominant characters in the series, such as the Love Hashira, Mitsuri, Kanroji, or even Upper Moon 3, Akaza. Let's put it this way, Rui could not knock out Tanjiro. Kanao, who the girls scale above, could knock out Tanjiro. Nezuko, who is light years ahead of Rui, could not wake up Tanjiro. The girls could wake up Tanjiro. I think when you start weighing these factors, it's pretty clear to see who the more dominating force is on the physical spectrum. Side note, not only are the girls much stronger than Rui, but they also have a passive sun enchantment on them. This means that they do not need Nichirin katanas in order to kill Rui. I know some of you aren't willing to accept that answer, and that's alright. But it's just because you're a bunch of Rui and Sanemi fans, so you hold no weight in this debate. Bars. Can I stick to the script? Alright, let's cover another reason why the girls spite Rui. This one is kind of two reasons combined into one, but let's just say it's one for the simple fact that they can be grouped. Kinda. They're dojutsu. From the Naruto verse, dojutsu is defined as a visual jutsu or eye technique. There are very few characters in this series who possess dojutsu. However, for some strange reason, all three of these girls were gifted with this great power. Their dojutsu can be visibly seen as their eyes appear as black dots or circles, the only drawback being that they're unable to deactivate it. Now, what does this dojutsu grant these girls in terms of abilities? Two main things. One, the ability to read their opponent's minds, and two, nigh omnipresence. Let's explain. With these powers activated, Naho, Kiyo, and Sumi, the Butterfly Girl trio, are able to tell what somebody is thinking, planning to do, and what they need, just by looking at them. This is an overwhelming advantage in a fight against anybody, especially somebody that you're already naturally stronger than. The full extent of their eye powers is unknown, but the first showing of their mind reading was when they were spying on Tanjiro during his training. Their omnipresence is shown on pretty much every single episode, so I honestly don't think that even needs much explanation. This is gonna be a short old little discussion video, but let's just cover our bases again. Superior physical attributes, coupled with the ability to read minds, coupled with the ability to be everywhere at once. That makes these girls such a dominating force in a match against Rui, in a match really against most anybody, but this video is about Rui. I don't want to go on and on, but what do you all think about this matchup? Are you on Team Butterfly Girls or are you on Team Loser? If you enjoyed this video, then cool. If you disliked the video because you thought it was factually wrong, then you are factually wrong and you can get on somewhere. Now let's just add a third matchup, even though I said I wasn't gonna do it. This isn't even a part of the script, but I'm freeballing here. Screw it, let's do it. Let's take Rui and his allies versus the Butterfly Girls and their allies. We have the Demon Butterfly Girls with a Hashira and Suguko versus Rui and his family. Now, Muzan would likely not help. None of the Upper Moons would help because demons just don't work together. The only reason that Rui and his family work together is because they all came from Rui. So, Rui and his family versus a Hashira, Suguko, and then three girls who scale the Hashira level. Come on now, it's a spite, bro. It's a spite. There is no match in which Rui wins a fight, but alright. I'm rambling now. I'm not even on script, so yeah. I'm gonna catch y'all boys and girls in the next one, alright? We out this piece. Yup.